first grade friends, Mrs. Rask here, and I'm going to do a writing lesson for you. This is for the week of April 27th through May 1st, and I am doing Monday and Tuesday's lesson. We're doing persuasive writing this week. Persuasive writing is when you're trying to persuade or convince somebody of what you think you should be doing. So these are going to be some fun ones. So on Monday, it says persuasive writing. Complete the organizer with 3 reasons you need a later bedtime, meaning you want to stay up later than you used to. So it says we need to use the organizer. So that's this paper right here where you get to write your name. And then our topic sentence is already given to us. It says, I should have a later bedtime. Then you get to come up with 3 reasons why you should get to stay up later. Last week we had to come up with our own list of why we wanted to say that our school was the best. But for this week, the ideas are already written for us. They came up with 6 and we're gonna have to narrow it down to 3. You could say, because you're growing, because you've been helpful, because you get enough sleep as is, or maybe you get to sleep in a little later than you used to. Maybe because you've already finished all of your homework, maybe because you play sports, or maybe because you need some more time to play with friends. That might be a reason for later on. So you're gonna look at these 6 reasons and decide which 3 are your favorite to do right here for these reasons here. Reason 1, reason 2, and reason 3. And that's what we're gonna work on. So I'm going to pick helpful. And I think that'd be a good one to get to write about why you should have a later bedtime. You could say, I have been helpful. That might be a reason why you could have a later bedtime. If I'm going to say, I have been helpful, I'm going to need 4 words, and I'm going to have to start with a capital at the beginning of my sentence. I have is one of our spelling words. It was a screech word, so we know how to spell that. I have been helpful. Now, been sounds like it should be b-e-n. But I know in my sight word list that when I said the word been, it was another screech word, and it has 2 E's. I have been. Helpful might be a word you normally wouldn't know how to spell, but because it's spelled on our organizer for us, we know how to spell it correctly. I have been helpful. And we know if it's the end of our thought, we need to have our punctuation there. Now I'm going to look at my list and I'm going to come up with another reason why I should have a later bedtime. Maybe because I get to sleep in, I should get to stay up a little bit later. I don't have to get up super early and make it to the bus on time. And I don't have to be at school at the exact minute that it's supposed to start because I get to be at my house. So maybe a reason why you think that you should get to stay up a little bit later is because you can sleep in a little later in the morning. That might be your second choice. So we could say this sentence, I can sleep in. 4 words again. If we're saying I can sleep in, I is my name. And if it's my name, it has to be a capital. This also works out well because it's the beginning of our sentence there. I can. Let's stretch out can. K-a-n. Can. That's 3 sounds in my word. K-a-n. I can sleep. That probably is a word that you know how to sound out on your own, but you could also look right here on your picture there. It's a topic they have for us already. I can sleep in. In is a short word that we know how to sound out. In. I can sleep in. I have a capital at the beginning. I've got my finger spaces, and all I need is my punctuation. I can sleep in. Those are my first two reasons, but a good story always has three supporting details. So we're going to need a third sentence. I could either do growing, homework, or sports, or play with friends. I'm going to pick homework because I know you guys have been working so hard at home that you might get to stay up a little bit later because you already finished your homework. I did all of my homework. Let's count that sentence. I did all of my homework. Ooh, that's a longer sentence. It's got a lot of details in that. I did. Let's stretch out. Did. Did. I'm going to sound that word out. Id. I did all. Now, all sounds like all, but we know we had a spelling list that had the words all, call, and small on it. And we know all was a screech word, and it's spelled A-L-L. I did all of. Of is another screech word. It sounds like it's spelled v, but I know of is not spelled U-V. It's a screech word that is spelled O-F. I did all of my I. I learned that I at the end of the word is not spelled I-E. It's spelled with a copycat Y. I did all of my homework is on my organizer, so I can look at it to see exactly how to spell that word correctly. It was one of our choices that we could pick. I did all of my homework. I'm looking closely at each one of my letters to make sure I didn't accidentally make a capital letter in the middle of a sentence. It looks like I've got all lowercase, so I need to make sure I've got capital at the beginning and punctuation at the end. I did all of my homework. I need that punctuation at the end. So those are my three reasons why I think I should have a later bedtime. I've got my topic sentence there. I should have a later bedtime. Reason 1, I have been helpful. Reason 2, I can sleep in. And reason 3, I did all of my homework. And then we have our conclusion sentence. The conclusion sentence kind of wraps up the story, and it says, this is why I should have a later bedtime. That's Monday's job, is to fill in this organizer. Tuesday, you're going to use this organizer to write your story about why students need a later bedtime. So you're going to get your fancy final copy paper, and you're going to get to copy this story onto here on Tuesday. So you've got your topic sentence that goes on top. I should have a later bedtime. You're going to copy down your 3 reasons next. I have been helpful. I can sleep in. I did all of my homework. And then your conclusion sentence goes last when you write it onto your final copy. This is why I should have a later bedtime. When you write this onto your final copy paper tomorrow, make sure you're using your best handwriting. Make sure you're using capitals at the beginning of all of your sentences. Make sure you're using finger spaces and lowercase letters in between. And make sure you finish each sentence with a period, because that's what good writers do. We hope you enjoy coming up with some reasons why you should have a later bedtime, and can't wait to hear your stories. Bye.